Today we have one of the most amazing stories that you will probably ever hear in your entire lifetime. And I'm not even kidding you. I was sitting down this past weekend, Shabbat, on a table, and I went on a Shabbaton to a Torah Masorah convention. And over there, the accident happens to be, there's no accidents in life, everything's from Hashem, right? Sat down on a table, sitting down with Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky's son. And he had his friend, another very, very amazing, nice midot people, top of the line. And I'm sitting there, Seudah Shlishi, and one guy's saying a story, another guy's saying a story on the table. Finally, I'm going to give you his initials. A person, we'll call him DL. Right? That's his initials, DL. He says, I have a story to tell the table that's going to, I said, no. Anyway, he's listening carefully. He says, many years ago, and we're going about 45 years ago. About 45 years ago, this is a story. He says that he was on the Williamsburg bus. Yeah. He was on the Williamsburg bus. And there was a fellow, he came on the bus, and he was like in his 50s. He walks on the bus, there was no real seat. And he walked to the back, and he was looking for a seat, he didn't have a seat. This boy, DL, he was 16 years old. And boys, please, Rabbi Yishai. So these boys, they were sitting on sitting on the bus, this bocher, sitting in the back of the bus. And he sees a 50-year-old man coming on the bus. So he says, you know what, I'm going to give respect to the man. He says, the Torah teaches you respect your elders and things like that. I'm 15, 16. He's 50-something. You know what? He says, you know what? B'chavod. Take this seat, He gets up, says, can I ask you a few questions? He says, sure. He says, which yeshiva are you from? He says, this yeshiva. Oh, so do you know so-and-so, this bacher? He says, this bacher? Yeah, I know him. He says, tell me a little bit about him. How is he? Is he good, smart, this, that? Is he intelligent? Does he have good character traits? I heard he learns with the Rosh Yeshiva. I heard this, I heard that. Tell me about him. And he starts telling him the whole entire, he's great. He's a very good midot tovot, very good character trait. He gets along with the people. He gets this. He says, wow, really? He says, yeah. And he asked him a lot of questions. He gets off the bus. The next day, so, he's in the yeshiva. He tells the guy, by the way, last night, I was on a bus. And I saw this 50-year-old man. He kept on asking me a million questions about you. I see you going out Shidduchim, huh? You going to Shidduchim. So he says, yes, I am. What did you tell him about me? He says, I told him all good stuff about you. I uplift you because it's the truth. You're a good guy. He says, listen, this man is from Montreal. He came to actually meet me last night and speak to me a little bit like that. You gave me a great report. I'm telling you now, if the Shidduch goes through, I'm going to pay you for this. P.S. The Shidduch went through and he ended up getting married. About 10 years later, DL, I told you the initials was DL, his wife was looking for a house. DL was looking for a house. DL, again, mind you, he was the guy who stood up for the 50-year-old man. And his wife's looking for a house. He sees, oh, look, this is a great house. So the husband DL says, how much is the house? Says, this price. This price? Too much. We can't afford that. I'm sorry. Don't even call. Don't even bother. It's too much. Out of the budget. Kish, no way. Says, what do you mean? It's out of the budget. Don't bother. But the wife, you know how it is sometimes. The wife is excited, this, that. I got a call. I got a call. Listen, she called up the number. Listen, how you doing? I heard you have a house in Borough Park, this, that. He says, who's calling? My name is, and he says the last name, starts with an L, right? Oh, do you know this person, DL? Says, yeah, that's my husband. If this is your husband, you could have the house. If this is your husband, you could have the house. He says, what? You serious? Come meet. We'll meet over there. There's that. They sit down. They meet. And says, how much could you afford? Says, this is how much we could afford. Says, what about a mortgage, this, like that? Mortgage, the credit, we have no credit. The guy ends up, the owner of the house, right, ends up going to the bank with DL and making sure that the bank takes care of him with the mortgage, and he couldn't get the mortgage. It was very hard for him to get the mortgage. He had no credit. And the bank wasn't giving it to him. But this person was so powerful, he said, listen, if you're not going to give it to him, I'm going to make sure that you guys are going to go bankrupt, because he had a lot of mortgages from the bank. So he said, listen, I won't pay. And let's see you out. He said, okay, we'll work something out. And they gave him a full mortgage with no credit, zero credit. It was the craziest story ever. And all this is because what? This DL stood up for this man. And after he stood up for this man, this person got the shidduch. And after he got the shidduch, he says, I'm going to pay you for this. And when did he pay him? 10 years later with a house. You hear this story? True story. And this is the person that's telling me on the table. And he's telling me this story, exactly how it went out. He says, think about it. If I didn't get up for that 50-year-old man, 60-year-old man, if I didn't get up for him, nothing would have happened. But since I did a mitzvah, and I got up and I did that mitzvah, many years later, the person that made the shidduch, this guy, everybody hears the story clear? Clear, Mo? Is that it is.